What is going on, everybody? And happy game week to you, my friends. Man, doesn't it just feel like Christmas? Or I guess Christmas Eve. We finally made it through the dog days of summer. All the waiting, all the news and rumors. We're here, and we get to talk about football. We get to watch real regular season NFL football this week, and I could not be more excited. Today, I'll be breaking down the 2024 schedule, giving my record prediction, breaking down game by game. And I know Tyler did this about 3 weeks ago, but hey, I'm the new host here. I'm going to run it back and let you know what I think about the 2024 season. And speaking of Tyler, the new host of the Chiefs Report, we are doing a week-long sub-battle with the Kansas City Chiefs. We're playing them on the field. Might as well play them on YouTube, have a little chat sports rivalry. Well, Tyler Jones took it a step too far, personally, for me. He's quoted with saying this on the Chiefs Report as of a couple days ago. Man, I'm so happy I'm not on that channel anymore. What a joke of an organization. I was low-key rooting for the Chiefs in the AFC Championship anyway. So happy I'm finally with the team I love. Not only are we going to kick their ass on Thursday, we're going to demolish them in this sub-battle too. Guys, prove Tyler wrong. Hit the subscribe button. Join the channel. You will be happy that you did. Let's start off, and let's go game by game. Week 1, Thursday night. Everybody knows it. Open up with an absolute battle, a rematch of the AFC Championship game. That is against the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. I'm not going to lie, guys. Got the Ravens winning this game. I got the Ravens winning this game. I think that Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh, Roquan Smith, all of those guys, Zay Flowers especially, are going to come out with so much energy. It is insane. I think that they will want revenge so badly that the Ravens surprise the Chiefs in Arrowhead and win that game and get off to a nice little 1-0 start. I'm excited. I'll be live. Thursday night, we'll go live at 6:20. Make sure you join me. That's just 4 days away. We can watch that game, hang out together. Next game, travel back home. Because the Las Vegas Raiders head up north and east to Baltimore. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think this is an absolute destruction job by the Ravens to the Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to be absolutely awful. I think that Brandon Stevens, Marlon Humphrey, Kyle Hamilton are going to have a field day against Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew, whoever's playing in that game. Give me 2 picks for the Ravens that game, and give me a 38-10 victory. Got the Ravens starting 2-0. Next, travel to Dallas. You'll notice with the schedule, the first good bit of games are back, forth. But traveling to Dallas, Arlington rather, to take on the Dallas Cowboys. And guys, I've got a loss for the Ravens here. The Cowboys are 16-1 at home over the past 2 seasons. Really good at home. I think they're going to be better on run defense this year with the addition of Mike Zimmer. And I just think this is going to be a tough game. Cowboys are a really hard team to beat on the road. Cowboys are a really hard team to beat kind of in general. I know Lamar doesn't lose to the NFC usually, but I do have the Ravens dropping this one and going to 2-1. And that brings the next opponent, the Bills. The Bills will travel to Baltimore, take on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And I think this is another loss. Guys, this is a really, really difficult schedule. We've talked about it already, and we'll talk about it kind of once these first 5 games are over. But I just think going Chiefs and then Cowboys and Bills, that's going to take a toll in the first 4 weeks. It's really hard to play this many good teams in this small of a stretch. And I'll be honest, I think Josh Allen's a really good quarterback. I think it's close. I think it's a really close game. But I do think this is a game that the Bills end up winning. So I've got the Ravens at this point even 2-2. Next, travel to Cincinnati, first AFC North game of the year to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. And I got the Ravens winning a close one in Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati is going to be a good team this year. You'll see later, I honestly have us splitting the series with them through the 2 games of this season. But winning the first one, even though it's in Cincinnati, I think it might take a little while for things to kind of gel in Cincinnati, getting a lot of people back from injury, a couple new pieces as well. But I do have the Ravens winning that one and starting 3-2 for the first 5 games. And speaking of the first 5 games, guys, I got to remind you, this is an absolute gauntlet early. 4 of the first 5 games are against teams that are expected to win 10 or more games. That is the hardest in the NFL. But the good thing about that is after it slows down, after that, the last 13 games, 12 games are against teams, only 2 of them are expected to win 10 or more games. Schedule really eases up over the last 12 games. I mean, and that's not a bad thing. You kind of want to get those hard games over early against those really good opponents when you still have the majority of your roster before the fatigue and injuries of a season happen to your roster. But it's going to be a gauntlet early. I think getting out of that 3-2 is a really good thing. Now, before we move on to our next games, I've got to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is Game Time. Guys, game time and game week is here, so why not get your tickets to the big games using Game Time? If you can't wait for the season to be here in just 4 days and want to get tickets to the big game locked down, you're going to want to give Game Time a shot. Game Time is the only place I go when I'm trying to buy tickets to any college football or NFL game. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to kickoff. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks fills out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands and thousands of tickets. Guys, there's so many things that I love about Game Time, but my favorite thing are the views from your seat. My wife and I, we love to go to college football games. We love to go to NFL games. We're going to see the Tennessee Volunteers take on the Oklahoma Sooners in just about 2.5 weeks, and we bought our tickets using Game Time. It's so great. When you choose your ticket, you choose the price you want, you get to see the view from your seat. I can't tell you how many times I've showed up to a game after spending hundreds of dollars on a ticket, and I'm like, okay, there's something in my way. I know it's happened to you as well. That's why you got to use Game Time to get your tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. To week 6 we go, and the Commanders come into town. And guys, this is, like I said, when things start to ease up just a little bit, right? I got to win against the Commanders. I mean, I think that they're going to be good, but I think if they play well and they have a good season, it's going to kind of start gelling together towards the end of it. I think it may take a little bit of time. It's a whole new coaching staff. It's a brand new quarterback. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be good. I don't think he's there yet. I think it's a shellacking, as they say, 35-14 Ravens. Next week, at the Buccaneers. This is a Monday Night Football game. Kind of a random Monday Night Football game, if you ask me, like against the Buccaneers. But hey, I'll take it. I love Monday Night Football. I've got the Ravens winning that one 31-10. Again, guys, I think this is the easier part of their schedule. I think about this time in the season, all the new pieces and all this Zach Orr and everybody that's kind of new to this team or coaching staff, everything kind of starts going together, right? I think you kind of get into a little bit of a groove, and that's when you head to Cleveland to take on the Browns. And I think this one, I know, we're going on a little win streak here. I got to win against the Browns. I think it's a close game. I really do. We'll see where Deshaun Watson is at this point in the season. He's kind of always injury prone, kind of always battling through injuries. He's kind of has through training camp so far. So we'll see if he's even playing and available. But even if he is, I just think the Ravens are better. I don't know if Nick Chubb will be back at this point in the season. But regardless, even if he is, I got the Ravens winning this one 24-21. And then the Denver Broncos, Sean Payton, Bo Nix and company, they head on to Baltimore up northeast. A lot of people traveling northeast to get to Baltimore. And got the Ravens winning again by a pretty wide margin. I think Bo Nix, honestly, is going to be pretty good in Denver, but I think it might take a little bit of time, kind of like Jaden Daniels. I think Bo Nix and Sean Payton are going to be a really good marriage, honestly, together as quarterback and as head coach. But I do think it will take just a little bit of time. They lost Justin Simmons. They don't have a ton of weapons surrounding him. I think Broncos might be better this year, and they might be good going forward. I just don't think they'll be able to do it against the Ravens. Give me 28-13 Ravens on that one. Week 10, Bengals, second matchup of the year. They're coming to Baltimore, and I think you lose this one. And I know you're saying, okay, so we beat them on the road but lose them at home. Well, guys, this is coming off of a really short week. Only 4 days of rest for the Ravens in this one. And that's something that kind of is like, we talked about it. Ravens have a lot of rest advantage. This week isn't one of them. It's a short week. I think the Ravens lose this game, and that is their third loss of the season. Speaking of AFC North matchups, do you guys think the Ravens will win the AFC North? I seem to think so. I really do. Type HY in the comment section down below for not just yes, but a hell yes. Type HN for hell no. Moving on. First matchup of the year against the Steelers in Pittsburgh, Week 11. I think you bounce back after the loss and get a win in Pittsburgh, and I think you beat them by a pretty big margin. I think Pittsburgh's offense is going to struggle mightily this season. I don't think they have a solid option at running back. I don't think they have a solid option at quarterback. I think that Russell Wilson and Justin Fields have both had their fair share of struggles in the preseason so far, and I don't necessarily think they're going to figure out in the season. Give me Ravens 24-7 over the Steelers. Week 12 at the Chargers, heading to the brother matchup, right? The Harbaugh versus Harbaugh, John Harbaugh's first season with the LA Chargers, and the better Harbaugh wins this game. Give me Jim Harbaugh 27-13 over the Chargers. Again, I think they'll take a step forward with Harbaugh, but I think that might come at a future date. They just don't have a lot of good receivers, don't have a ton of offensive weapons, and I think they have a fine defense. I think you just outman them and outclass them that game 27-13. Week 13 versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles coming to Baltimore. I think this is a loss. I think it's a really close game. The Eagles had a pretty good offseason, right? I think Saquon Barkley is going to be really good in this offense. And I'm the biggest, I don't necessarily think Saquon Barkley's had an incredible career, but also he's been with the Giants. Terrible offensive line, 0 wide receivers surrounding him. And so he's going to be in an offense now in Philadelphia where you got guys like A.J. Brown that you got to worry about, Devontae Smith. And I think he might shine. I really do. I think the Eagles take that one December 1st, 28-23 over the Ravens. And then finally, Week 14, the bye week's here. That's a late bye week, guys. I don't know how I feel about that yet. I really don't, but I don't love it. I wish it was a little bit closer to the middle of the season. But anyway, the bye week's there. It's finally here. You're excited. You rest up. And you rest up to take on the Giants next week in New York. And you rest up to kick the Giants' ass in New York. 38-10. Giants might have a 1 or 2 overall pick in the next draft. I think they're going to be terrible. Daniel Jones is the worst quarterback in the NFL. I think that one is absolutely going to be just a destruction of a game. Then Week 16, you got the Steelers. And you got them in Baltimore. And I think you win this game again. I do. I said it already. I don't think the Steelers are going to be very good. And I know, guys, that the Steelers beat the Ravens twice last year. I know that. One of them was Week 18. It didn't really matter. But at the end of the day, I just think you're better than this team. I don't think they're going to have a great season. Allie, do you mind using a List 3 logo for that last one? Thank you. I think you're better than them. I think you beat them 21-13. And then Christmas Day comes around. Merry Christmas, everybody. You're taking on the Texans. I'm pretty sure this game is on Netflix. I probably should fact check that before I started this video. You win this game. You do. Both teams are coming off short rest. Only 4 days for either team. It's played on a Wednesday. I think the Texans are going to be good, but I think kind of at that point, I don't want to say they've had the AFC South wrapped up, but I think they're looking really good in that playoff race. And I just don't think necessarily this game's going to mean too much for them. I also think at the end of the day, even though they added guys like Stephon Diggs in the offseason, I do think you're better than the Texans. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a sophomore slump from C.J. Stroud either. Oop, you heard it here first. Then Week 18 comes. You're taking on the Browns in Baltimore. I think you lose this game. But I think you lose it because you already have the AFC North wrapped up. There's a chance you already have that number 1 seed wrapped up. And at this point, you're just resting starters. You're making sure guys are healthy going in the playoffs. And I think you lose it, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. So that is my record prediction. I've got them going 12-5. So just a 1-game difference from last year to this one. Not that big of a deal. But I got them going 12-5. What do you guys have them going? Let me know down in the comment section below. Predict the regular season record for me. 12-5 is pretty good. I'd be pretty happy with that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Again, we are in a week-long battle with the Chiefs heading into this Thursday night game. Let's get revenge on Tyler. Let's hit that sub button, share it with your friends, and we'll see you tomorrow.